Before I start this, I would like to apologize for any construction noises that may be audible in my recording. I hope that you would still enjoy it regardless of whatever is happening in my house. Anyways, back to the video. Hi everyone, I'm Talulla Fitri Pradian, usually called Talulla, from Class AB of Thematic Analysis in English Contemporary Literature, and this is my portfolio titled More Than Just Love in Ones and Zeros. Pandemic. Yay! I'm sure everyone is tired talking about the pandemic. Trust me, I feel the same way. But we can't ignore the fact that it highlighted the prominence of the internet in our daily lives. How we use it for work, source of entertainment, and during the pandemic, as a way to communicate with people outside of our houses. Even in some cases, people would call their loved ones for hours on end. For example, being couples who used to always spend time together out on dates, now confined between the four walls of their room while their other half is in the same situation as they are. During the height of the pandemic, those that even stayed in the same city became long distance partners. Now, when someone says the words long distance relationships or LDRs, the first image that may come to your mind would be the romantic kind, where a pair is separated physically and can't meet as often. While that is the case for some of the stories that I have dissected for this website, it does not describe to the fullest extent what being long distance really is. Don't get me wrong, I had the same image as you did before I started this portfolio. As I researched further, however, I realized that the definition is broader than I originally thought. This is what piqued my interest in this topic. The long distance part isn't only just about physical distance, it can also be emotional or even socially. As for the relationship aspect, it isn't just romantic ones. Families, friends, or even your fellow coworkers can be considered as LDRs. Okay, woo, take in, that's a lot of information. Don't worry, let me elaborate more with the help of the works I have chosen. So, let's get going, shall we? Let's start off the explanation with my most famous analyzed work, the movie The Kissing Booth 2. It tells the story of Elle, a girl dealing with a newly turned long-distance relationship with her boyfriend Noah with the hurdles that came along with it. The main message that this movie was trying to deliver after painfully watching through its poor portrayal of teenage life was that communication is key. Most of the issues that the two had to settle could have been avoided only if they had let each other know what they truly feel instead of leaving each other unread. There were also external factors like scheduling conflicts that just makes the fallout caused by these simple misunderstandings slow but painful. It's almost as if this was a cautionary tale for those that don't communicate properly with their significant other, long distance or not. Speaking of cautionary tales, user Hungry Writer NNF's short story shows how online relationships aren't always as ideal as we would hope them to be. This story follows a nameless, seemingly sentient dog who, after planning to meet its online friends, was sadly rejected by them and was told for it to scram. This story serves as a reminder that with a few clicks, anyone can be anything they want to be, good or bad, online. Parallels of the story can be drawn from the show Euphoria, where the main character Jules ends up catching feelings for Tyler online. The moment they met, however, it was let known to her that it was actually Nate, someone Jules had a fight with before and who was also aware who Jules was online and had planned this setup for leverage purposes. That one was quite sad, wasn't it? How about we brighten things up a little bit? As bright as the stars, if you will. Our One Star by Colby Barker puts us through the lens of a person persevering through a physically separated relationship. By using the stars as a symbol of reassurance, they are in this together. While the falling star represents the hardships of the relationship, the author tells the other that they will catch it, to show that they understand the pain the other is feeling. The last stanza shows that the author is hopeful for the relationship's future, hoping that they will be reunited once again. Just like how captivating the stars in the skies are, our One Star tells a beautiful story of hope for the better, whether it is in the present or the future. The same can't be said for the protagonist of our next poem, however. Margaret Hass's hoping to hear from a former friend is exactly like the title says. A friend loses contact with the other due to unresolved issues, and when they had finally reunited through a telephone call, our protagonist was greeted by them being foreign to the speaker and ended up with a sales pitch. Simply put, it shows how we need to accept that people will come and go, whether you like it or not. While being physically apart is always an issue in a relationship, that doesn't mean that they also have to be emotionally apart. The song Dear My Friend from the game Sonic Unleashed is told from the perspective of one of the game's characters, Chip, who, with the help of Sonic, regains his memory at the conclusion of the game. This song showed Chip's appreciation for Sonic's help and lets Sonic know that whenever they need each other, they can trust that help is on the way. This sets a good example for those in LDRs, with the key aspect being trust. Trust that the other will be there for you in your time of need without second guessing. Grief is an uncommon theme while talking about LDRs, but Ghost Forest by Pik Shenfeng, I'm sorry if I pronounced the name wrong, explores this theme in a bittersweet manner. The narrator living in Canada and her dad having to travel between there and Hong Kong for work made her name her family an astronaut family. As her dad traveled more, their relationship became more distant. Her father passed after some time, and it was only then that the narrator regrets the time that was poorly spent with her father, like how she wished that she communicated her feelings better with her dad. Even if they're from a different country, I'm sure you would also understand how grief can challenge the emotional distance between a parent and a child.
Hey, I'll call you back, okay?
Having to analyze the blossoming wish reminds us that relationships, wherever the other person is, can bloom into something beautiful if given enough attention and care. The animation uses a flower to symbolize the relationship between a girl and a boy and its date. As we progress, it shows the flower's well being and subsequently their relationship's health as well. An example would be the scene showing the girl ignoring the guy's messages with the flower also in view, wilting. Once the girl had remembered the memories her and her boyfriend had spent together, she started to persevere and the flower grew healthily again with her. As the flower blossoms, our couple gets their happy ending by meeting each other on Christmas Eve. Taylor Swift's song Come Back Be Here's main theme is regret. Regret that makes people wish that things could have ended up more favorably. The song tells the story of the singer and how her friend, who she ended up catching feelings for the moment they left, had to move away. Regret is the main driving force of her longing. The song is told in the singer's headspace, where she wished that he had not moved away, regretting her past actions or lack thereof. Yes, they do still contact each other, but the singer still wishes for them to come back. Moving away from the person you love is something that no one wants, hence why some people feel content with wherever they currently are, because they have found everything they need and are comfortable with it. However, some people feel confined if they are stuck in the same place and would prefer to move out to find new opportunities. Enter It's Your Call, a short movie created by Meryl Hathaway and Jackie Phillips, as it explores the dynamic of a couple with these two conflicting ideals. Ava working in LA to find new job opportunities, and Peter working in New York, where the couple were originally from, would constantly have banters that would seemingly evolve into arguments that become more and more personal, with shots of the video showing their conflicting ideals not getting through them and being emotionally drained. They both decided to call the relationship off. It's not that they don't love each other anymore, but it's because they're just not able to continue when the other person does not want to move back in with them. Not only because they're physically distant, but also ideally. Let's move away from being ideally distant to being cosmically distant. Rainery's song When the Sun Loves the Moon uses the celestial bodies to represent the struggles of being in a sapphic relationship, with lines such as never touching but never far, presents the would-be social consequences if they were to display their affection publicly and with them destined to never be together, among other things queer relationships have to go through. Their physical distance can't be any closer to each other, yet these restrictions make them feel as if they're miles apart, and the song shows that. Communication seems to be a recurring theme for these works. It just goes to show its importance in LDRs, and in the short movie appropriately titled Long Distance Relationship is no exception. Showing the plethora of miscommunication issues that LDRs may go through, the video puts the viewers in the perspective of the relationship firsthand, with there being no spoken dialogue, just gray and blue text bubbles. Other things in the short movie also represent the theme is through the lack of emotion in the video and the time of day. Even with unspoken dialogue, the message is loud and clear to not create any misunderstandings between each other. We end things off by traveling back in time, World War II to be exact. 84 Sharing Crossroad tells a tale of a friendship forming through a collection of post letters. The two characters were Helen Huff, an American and author of the book, and Frank Dowell, a British bookseller in 84 Sharing Crossroad. We see the two became closer and closer whilst never actually meeting each other in real life, even until Dowell's death in 1968. We see as the two break down the formalities of a customer wanting to search for antique books in the bookshop to seemingly close friends, with letters filled with teases to one another, rants, nicknames, among other things. This collection of heartwarming letters goes to show how a friendship can be formed no matter the distance, as long as both parties are willing to put the effort into it. Through this portfolio, I have learned many things I didn't know before about long distance relationships. Because of this, I have changed my introduction twice to match the works that I have found and analyzed. I also changed my project title recently because it doesn't represent what I have learned along the way. This portfolio made me realize that human relationships are fascinating and it can change depending on how the parties treat each other. Some ended horribly, some happy, and some undecided. Long distance relationships have never been more prevalent than ever before, and I think this issue has been swept under the rug due to its very private nature. While I do believe that there are other pressing issues that the world is dealing with right now, personal matters are also as important as the other. Not only it may affect your livelihood, but knowing a thing or two about long distance relationships can be beneficial for future references. After all, you don't really know what's going to happen in the future, and it's always a good thing to prepare for anything that may come. All in all, it has been a great ride, and I do hope you enjoy watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.